Week 36, day 3. One of those lessons, I'm going to read it to you so you don't miss a word. Now, I'm going to add a few paraphrases in here, so stick with me and know what's mine and what's Ben Franklin's. This is page 194, developingcharacter.org. Run off as many copies as you want. They're all free. It's for you. We're not doing this to make money. We're doing this to leave a legacy of high character people that read this. Many people lead bad lives that would gladly lead good ones, but they don't know how to make the change. You believe that? Sure you do. I don't care who you are. There's nobody out there that's a drug junkie or an alcoholic or a wife beater or a domestic abuser or a pedophile that doesn't say, I wish I didn't do that. I'd really like to be a good person. There's not anybody out there that doesn't do that. We're all sorry human beings, and we have to fight to overcome that. Now, these people have frequently resolved and endeavored it, but in vain, because their endeavors have not been properly conducted. How many times, if you're a teacher or a coach, have you had somebody that sits in there and says, oh, Coach, I'm sorry I did that. I really am. I wish I hadn't have done it. I guarantee I'll never do it again. To exhort people to be good, to be just, and to be temperate without showing them how they shall become so seems like ineffectual charity. This is the politician that tells somebody what they ought to do and then takes a bribe or doesn't live a life that's a model. See, nobody cares what you say. Not one person ever cares what you say. All the years I coached, I talked to our coaches and I said, don't you ever talk to a player about your religious beliefs. Don't you ever mention that to a player. Coach, I thought you were a Christian. I am. But I'm going to tell you something. If you don't live your life in a way that they come and ask you, then you'll never have the right to witness to them. Anytime you start talking to your players about your religious beliefs, I don't care what they are, Christian, Muslim, Buddhist, I don't care. You're preaching and they're going to turn you off. The only chance you've ever got to witness to your players about anything is when they come and ask you and they say, Coach, how come you're so patient? Why are you so friendly to everybody? Coach, how can you be so positive? How come you're always positive? Every day you're positive. Coach, how do you always respond to bad things? Now you got a shot. But they got to come and ask. Becoming a person of character. What's this whole program about? What is this entire program about? Becoming a person of character. Amen? Becoming a person of character is as properly an art as painting, navigation, or architecture. If a man would become a painter, navigator, or architect, it's not enough that he'd be advised to be one. In other words, I can't tell you about patience, friendliness, purpose-driven, commitment, responsibility. It's not enough for me just to tell you about them and for you to have a head knowledge of it. Or that he is convinced by the arguments of his advisor that it be to his advantage to be one, and that he resolves to be one. You know what's right. You know what patience is. You know what being a learner is. You know what being purpose-driven is. You know what having a commitment means. And it's not enough just to resolve that you're going to do it. but he must also be taught the principles of the art, be shown properly all the instruments, and thus regularly and gradually he arrived by practice. He arrived by what? Practice at some perfection in the art. Therefore, to be a person of character, what are we going to be? What is this curriculum going to do? Therefore, to be a person of character, to have these 36 qualities, and people see them in you, and they're your foundation. It is necessary to be taught the principles. What have we been doing for 35 weeks? Teaching you the principles. Shown a proper model. What are all these stories? What is the concept of the stories? Here it is. Show you a proper model. And to practice the habits of character. Plus, minus. Again, therefore to be a person of character. What is this entire curriculum designed to do? To be a person of character. It is absolutely necessary to be taught the principles. Have we taught you the principles? Shown a proper model. What are all these stories? These stories are to show you about Jackie Robinson and about Jim Corbett. All these are to show you a proper model, to give you examples, and to practice the habits. What are practicing the habits? On Friday, it's evaluation. Were you patient on Tuesday? Were you patient on Wednesday? Were you patient on Thursday? If not, why weren't you, and what can you do differently? Ben Franklin puts it down in 1757. This wasn't written in 2020. This was written by a man named Benjamin Franklin in 1757. And everything I've ever read about Benjamin Franklin, this is the only thing that I've ever read about character. Well, I believe it's all you need. You got to be taught the principles, shown the model, and practice the habit. You got to practice patience. You got to practice a proper mental attitude. You got to practice integrity to get to be a person of character. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Maybe we should have taught that lesson first, but I don't think it would have the impact that it will right now. You got a foundation. You got to be that role model for these qualities. See you tomorrow.